Hey, it's Decoy from DecoyNoise, and today we're going over more Am I the Antagonist posts, brought to you today by Harsh Realities. No, that's not a sponsor of the day, it's actually just the theme, because every post today is going to be about harsh realities. So today's first post is, Am I the Antagonist for being honest with my wife about my feelings on the plastic surgery she had done? Okay, so let's go over it. So, OP wrote, she's always been insecure about the size of her breasts. I've tried my best to boost her confidence, but it's not the type of problem I can fix since it's rooted on a lot of her issues that predate our relationship and have nothing to do with me. The year my wife finally decided to get breast augmentation after having talked about it for years. She also decided, after talking to some of her friends, to have lip fillers too. I thought, and still think, she looked beautiful the way she was, but I recognize that it's not my body and not my decision to make. She had both procedures done, and I have had mixed feelings about the results. She's not really any happier. She still has a lot of the same concerns she did before the procedures. I've also struggled to get used to the new normal. This is especially true with the lip fillers. Now she's talking about increasing the size of her implants and having rhinoplasty and some work done on her butt. I want to be supportive, but I can't help but think it's a bad idea and the beginnings of a trend that could end up getting out of hand. When my wife asked me what I thought, I was honest about those feelings. We had a long conversation and she insisted that she was not making a bad decision. But she also couldn't understand why I wasn't supportive in the first set of procedures, or why he was supportive of the first procedures, but concerned this time. I explained to her that I had struggled to get used to the new for her, and was concerned about how even more procedures might only make that worse, but also part of me loved her as the way she was, and didn't want her to change. I tried to be respectful and sensitive in how I expressed my feelings, but she took offense and labeled me the antagonist for 1, lying how I felt about the first procedures done, 2, not supporting the additional changes, and 3, wanting her to stay the same even though she's not comfortable with her body. Is she right? So before we take the case to official decoy court, I'm just going to give you my knee-jerk reaction to the situation, and honestly, this is probably one of the better stories where OP's just being completely honest about how they feel about the wife, her body, and what she wants to do with it. He was probably supportive of her trying to do something to make her feel happier, and now he noticed that it didn't do anything for her, actually probably made it worse, and is probably going to take her down a path of probably some pretty bad stuff later on. But let's go ahead and read the top and controversial comments, because maybe that's going to change our mind as to how we feel about this. So the top post that got silver and an angel award says, ... Dude, not the antagonist. This is such a lose-lose situation. She just wants blind support from you, and she's forgetting that you're part of the relationship, and that what she's doing might be to her own body, but she cannot expect it to change nothing. You can still love her on the inside, but you're allowed to be thrown off balance by her new outward appearance. If she's not aware, plastic surgery addiction is very real. People become obsessed with the fantasy image they want for themselves inside their minds, not realizing that plastic surgery very rarely cures the insecurity they feel. I've had friends who've gotten surgery. Out of the few I knew, only one of them got surgery and was happy with it and stopped just at the one. Plastic surgery also carries a level of risk. She needs to go to therapy more than surgery, in my opinion. If she wants surgery after that, then I say open the discussion again, but she cannot start making radical changes to her body and expect you not to worry. Everything you've done has been supportive and said/done out of love. She's a little blind right now because she's fixated on the surgeries right now, and it's not healthy. Good luck. And the one thing I would say though, even though it's like a false equivalency, it's like I buy too many sneakers and shoes and everything, and I honestly it's a bad example, but just the idea that when I get fixated on, like, man, I don't know if I should buy that pair, it's too expensive, I don't know, and the more I think about it, the more I want it, and it's one of those things where it's like, she's gonna get fixated on, like, I really need to change my breast right now, and then she's so fixated on it, once she gets it, she's like, why did I get this? Now I need a new butt, now I need a rhinoplasty, a new nose and everything, so it's just gonna be this thing where she's always chasing the surgeries, but it's not that. It's not filling up the void that she has that's making her want that stuff. So let's go to the next reply right now saying, not the antagonist. A little work is fine, but your wife seems to be struggling with some type of body image problem to want to get this much done. You are completely in the right to voice your concerns. She may need to talk to a therapist instead of a surgeon. The next reply by OP says, it seems like the decision to have the implants and fillers triggered something and made it worse. I think you're right about her needing to talk to a therapist, but I haven't mentioned that to her yet. And I imagine if once he brings up therapy to her, that's going to open up a whole other floodgates, because it's no longer going to be between his wife and her insecurities. It's going to be between his wife and OP now. Like, she's not going to fight the insecurities. She's fighting OP. He's the antagonist now. So this is all bad. Like the first guy said, lose-lose situation. But the next post. Once upon a time, they made a prospective plastic surgery patients get a mental evaluation. They don't do it now. And that's how you get Jocelyn Wildenstein and Justin Judlica, and for that matter, Michael Jackson. Rest in peace. To be fair, almost all people that have had plastic surgery procedures don't do it again because they're satisfied with the limitations of modern medicine and the limits of their own body. Your wife does not sound like she's going to be one of those people. Not the antagonist. She needs therapy before any more procedures, at least. And I agree with all that. And that's the thing, is that there are lots of different stories of people that just got addicted to plastic surgeries and they end up dying later on. I know that, what was it? I think it was Kanye West's mother passed away due to an elective surgery, which is very, very tragic. And also the idea, there's an old music video about like 3 people talking about they're the plastics, and one of them wants to be the new Justin Bieber, and he's just really changing his appearance, not for the better. But then he passed away because he had too many plastic surgeries, and this entire time you have a surgeon just sitting there like, yeah, no, that's fine, let's go ahead and do this surgery, let's do this surgery, being well aware that, hey, look, you don't need to look like Justin Bieber, 1, and 2, this may kill you, which it did. So let's go ahead and go to the controversial comments to see if anybody will defend the plastic surgeries. So first comment is, no antagonist here. She's insecure about her body and thinks plastic surgery will help. You're concerned that this isn't helping and could get her out of hand without ever solving the underlying issues. Due to her insecurity, she's taking that concern badly. Nobody has ever done anything wrong here. She just needs help dealing with her insecurities about her body. And I agree with all that comment, other than the kind of grammatical errors, but just the idea that's controversial. But yeah, she's having an issue right now. You need to address that. This doesn't make her necessarily a bad person. It just means that she's ailing from, you know, the era of social media where they see all these heavily photoshopped lip filler, I forgot what it is, the butt lift and the breast augmentation. Like, oh my God, I need to be like that. Not knowing those people don't even look like that. So let's go ahead and read one more controversial comment saying, no antagonist here. You're entitled to your feelings and it seems you express them well. And also, no antagonist here. You have the right to state your opinion, but ultimately it's up to her what she does to her body. However, I would keep an eye on her. She's clearly suffering with self-esteem issues, and plastic surgery addiction can be a slippery slope. At the end of the day, all you can do is be there for her, and she will seek the help she needs when she decides to. Therapy might be a good option if she's open to it. -3 votes. So they got -3 votes because they're just trying to justify what she's doing. So taking it over to Decoy Court, I do agree with that sentiment where she's just ailing from her own thing, but I also understand that OP's in a hard situation where they probably do need to be honest about the whole situation, saying, hey, stop doing these things. You're becoming a woman that he didn't fall in love with. Like, he might be into her personality still, but just the idea that this isn't what he signed up for. If he wanted one of those like Instagram model plastic surgery people, he probably would have chased that in the beginning. But no, he went after this woman right here that has changed over time. And maybe it could be a thing where it's like, hey, what is her priority right now? Does she want to get the attention and the affection from OP, or is it, you know, some elusive Instagram like or follower or something like that? Like, what is her ultimate priority? Because that's going to change a lot of things. So as we go into the next topic, I just want to make sure you guys are subscribed down below with the notifications on, because of what I'm hearing is you guys can be subscribed to me but not seeing all my content when it releases. So just make sure you joining in on the conversation and joining the Decoy Coy by being subscribed. But let's go ahead and get to the second story of the day, which is, am I the antagonist for saying that my son's needs were more important than my daughter's needs? So OP wrote, a throwaway account. Yes, I know the title makes me look like the antagonist, but I have 2 children, a 16-year-old female and a 15-year-old male, both of whom I love dearly. I've never shown any favoritism towards them, and they both have equal chores and roles around the house. So, my daughter's laptop is really slow. I've told her that I will get her a new laptop eventually, but I need the extra money to buy my son a new hearing aid. He has severe hearing loss, and the aid helps him just in case of emergency. I've told my daughter that she can use my laptop for school, but she isn't allowed to have fun on it or access social media. She got angry over this and said she deserves her laptop more than my son deserves a hearing aid. I apologize for making her feel bad over the situation, but my son's needs are more important than my son needs this more than my daughter needs a laptop, and I made the mistake of telling her that. She stormed upstairs and refused to talk to me for a week straight. When I dropped my kids off at their mother's, I told them about the situation, and she agreed wholeheartedly that the hearing aid was more important. Just to be clear, my ex-wife doesn't have a stable job right now. She was fired due to the lockdown and can't afford much. Despite this, I can't help feel but guilty. Am I the antagonist? So before we rush it over to Decoy Court in the top and controversial comments, I'll go ahead and say that he feels guilty because his daughter is sad, and that's a good thing that he has empathy for her. But the thing is, like, they're creating a monster right now. Like, the idea that, you know, I need to be able to browse social media 0.5 seconds faster more than the brother needs to hear the fire alarm or something like that. That's a terrible thing right now. But maybe we're gonna find some people defending her in the top comments. So let's go and see the top comments saying, not the antagonist. Health needs always come before gaming and social needs. The next reply is this: I'm hard of hearing and have needed hearing aids since I was a kid. I'm in a country where hearing aids are covered by government health care, so this was never an issue for me. But I also wanted to learn American Sign Language as an alternate tool for dealing with my hearing. This is something my parents refused to find for me, and it's something I'm still resentful 30 years later. Your daughter sounds very entitled to prioritize her entertainment over a tool for her brother's disability. I'd suggest her, if she wants a laptop so soon, she earn the money and buy one herself. Which is true, but you can't really say, like, you know, she's 16, so she's going to get a job at Subway or McDonald's. It's like, how much is she going to need to work to get that, like, $3,000 MacBook Pro? It's just unrealistic. She needs to stop being entitled. That's what it comes down to. And also manipulative. This is the idea that she's saying, like, oh, yeah, I need a laptop more than he needs a hearing aid, and trying to make OP, the father, feel bad. No, that's all bad. Like, they need to shut this down right away. But let's go ahead and read the next top post saying, not the antagonist. One is a medical device, the other is for entertainment. Medical needs are more than entertainment, every time. The next reply was, she needs it for school, not entertainment, but still argue the hearing aid is more important. No, I think he said you can use the laptop, just not for social media or gaming, so she already had access to something for school, so no, I don't agree with that right now. And the next reply was, no antagonist here. Your daughter is at an age where socialization seems to be the most important thing, but your son has a medical need. Maybe there's something you can do for her old computer to speed it up in the meantime. Show her that you understand her needs. You should apologize to her for saying that her son's needs matter more. However, this was likely hurtful to her. You didn't mean to hurt her feelings or belittle her needs, and she needs to hear that. So OP replied to that, but the one thing I would say is I wouldn't try to program her in the sense of, hey, we need to give you rational thought and discussion and, like, you know, coddle you as to what we can afford right now and what we can't. He was talking to her like as an adult, like, you know, you young lady, listen. Your brother, he needs a hearing aid or else he's not going to be able to hear fire alarms, you know, I'm just fixated on fire alarms, but, you know, he's not going to be able to enjoy life as much as he could without the hearing aid. You're just fine without the laptop. So just the idea is, like, you should be able to talk to them as, you know, someone that understands and has empathy and compassion for family members. So I don't see whether there's a problem with him doing it the exact way that he already did it, because he shouldn't have to beg her to feel empathy for the brother. But let's go ahead and see what OP had to say about that, saying, I completely agree. I'm going to go over to the mother's house to apologize for saying that tomorrow. Which I do respect the fact that he's just going to say, hey, I'm going to go in there hat in hand and try to make my daughter feel better. But also the idea is, it's like her little manipulation tactic kind of work. Like, oh my God, I can't believe you want your son's needs are more than the daughter's needs. Like, I get it, because it was just like, oh yeah, your son's more important than you, but she needs to see the big picture, and she needs to not be like coddled to the sense of like, hey, she's not 4. She can understand that, like, oh, sometimes he's going to get a present and you won't get a present. Not even necessarily a present, just the idea where he's going to taken care of before you because he needs it more. Let's see the controversial comments, because I'm already saying it's going to be better, saying, everyone sucks here. Your daughter should be more understanding about your son's needs. Ordinarily, I would say she needs to get a job, but given the current events, not a lot of places are hiring, and I can understand her feeling like she needs the internet for socialization and so on. So you're telling her she can't use any social media on your machine and her needs are less important seems unnecessarily inflammatory. His hearing aids are more important, but there are better ways to handle this than what happened there. And I disagree with that right there, because the whole, yes, he needs hearing aids more than she needs a laptop, but they said that she had a laptop. She just has a slow laptop, so she can still go on social media. She can still go on, you know, I don't know, whatever, Instagram, Snapchat on the laptop. And the thing is, though, is just because she can't run the latest version of Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom on the old machine doesn't mean that she necessarily needs that. Yes, she wants to be able to FaceTime with all her friends and everything, and I get that, but the idea is he's allowing her to do it, one of the necessary things, but gaming and stuff, that's just not, that's extra. You don't need that or whatever. And then the idea that she's lashing out on the brother, I don't like that either. But let's see. The next reply is, what the heck? Not the antagonist. Your daughter is an entitled brat. If I were you, I would slam on that before it gets worse. And they're being kind of harsh, but he probably does need to close that off, saying, hey, it's not okay for you to think that your social media use is more important than your little brother's hearing use. So the next reply was, not the antagonist. Your daughter sounds so entitled, so good luck with that. And here's the thing, they're still relatively young. They can still learn their lessons. They can still sit them down and say, hey, look, you know, I understand that you got really worked up about the situation, so, you know, hopefully you can understand that your brother needs to hear and everything. I'm repeating myself, so in Decoy Court, we're kind of looking at this top to bottom. I'm pretty much aligning with everybody else in the replies, saying, hey, he probably does need to have some sort of communication with the daughter to say, this is the reasoning why your brother got the preferential treatment, but hearings more than social media. If you really want to work some stuff out, maybe we can try to figure out how to speed up your laptop or do something like, if, I don't know if he's tech savvy or not, or just something where he can show that he cares about her, but just financially, the money's locked up in the little brother's disability. So I'm actually going to say no antagonist here because, the daughter is just young too. She's probably wrapped up. Maybe she just is very, very missing her friends and everybody's on, I don't know, Roblox. I don't know what the game is. She's on, all the friends are on Minecraft and the computer can't run Minecraft, so she's missing out on some good friendship time. I can understand that right there. So let's go ahead and shoot over to that last topic today, which is, am I the antagonist for being upset by an ultimatum to change my lifestyle? So OP wrote, I can't really talk to my friends about this because they're always going to side with me, so I'm throwing this out to the people of Reddit to decide. I, a 28-year-old female, have been seeing a man, a 38-year-old male, for a little less than a year. He has dreams of making it in the entertainment industry and as such moved to LA recently. Prior to that, during the shutdown, he had moved in with me, primarily to save money before the move. During this time, we were both feeling pretty depressed and from being locked indoors away from our friends, so we were both drinking and snacking a lot out of boredom. I was supporting both of us with my job and realized how much it was costing, so I decided to stop drinking and snacking. Before he left, he told me if I want to continue dating him that I need to change the way that I live, eat, and exercise. I have never seen this as a problem in our relationship because I eat pretty healthy meals, have an active job, and enjoy hiking and cycling. I'm also 5'4" and weigh 132 pounds, so I am by no means a large person. He told me that he wants to get fit himself and that he's going to be successful in his career, that he needs to be around a fit, healthy, attractive people, and that I didn't satisfy those criteria. I was pretty hurt by this, especially that he knows that growing up in an intensely critical Asian family, I had been counting calories and excessively exercising since I was 11 and worked hard to be in the place where I finally felt body positive and healthy. His comments threw me straight back to being that obsessive person, and I lost 15 pounds in a month. My friends and colleagues have been worried about me, asking if I've been unwell since I lost the weight so rapidly, but my boyfriend said he can't tell and that I'm just as big as I was before. I tried to talk to him about my feelings, but he said that I'm overreacting to his comments and that it's reasonable for him to want to be around a healthy, aesthetically pleasing people. I'm really stuck and don't know what to do. He's moving back in with me soon because it's too expensive where he's living. He wants to throw away all the snacks I have in the house in preparation for his arrival. The only snacks I have are the ones sent from my parents from overseas since I'm homesick and can't visit home because of the lockdown. I want to support him and his career, so I'll be taking them to my desk at work, which is an easy solution. Overall though, I'm still hurt by the ultimatum he gave me and how it affects on how I see myself. Am I the antagonist for being upset with him? Oh, and sorry for the long post. So before I get to the update over it, I'm just going to give my knee-jerk reaction. This is super messed up where this guy is across. I'm going to go ahead and just guess that she's low self-esteem because what guy can tell a girl like, oh, look, later on I'm going to be successful, so you need to be a whole lot hotter if you want to be involved in me. And that's just like, she's like, oh, okay, I'll do that. That makes sense. Like, no, that's a terrible person. I'm going to leech off of you. You're going to support me while he saves some money to go live in LA and not become a movie star. And then he's going to come back and say, hey, that didn't work out. I still want to come back to you. He didn't hold up his end of the bargain of becoming a rich and famous dude, but he still wants her to look better. And then also she lost a freaking 15 pounds at 5'4". That's going to be noticeable. And the idea that he's like, oh yeah, it's still not enough. It's like he's not feeling comfortable with himself and then he's trying to project it on her. So good riddance to him, and hopefully she just realizes like this guy's no good, you can do better, and this was just a whole, maybe it's a learning experience. I forgot how old she is, but the edits were, thank you for everyone for your supportive comments and the awards. I was really starting to think that I was being unreasonable by being upset. Edit number 2. I didn't expect so many responses. Thank you all. I read each and every post. It looks pretty unanimous. I agree that this relationship is not very healthy for me. I'm not very good at the follow through with breakups, but this is probably for the best, which is good. So let's see what the top comment said over here, saying, not the antagonist, get a new man, that one is defective. And yeah, no amount of shaking or blowing on the cartridge will make this one work properly. That has weird weird double meanings, but next reply was, not the antagonist, run from this antagonist. Your life probably depends on it. He's encouraged disordered eating by being mean because he is a loser. Seriously, his lack of success has nothing to do with the appearance around you. Get away now. And just the idea that he thought that maybe her looking better is going to make his career better. No, you suck, dude. Like, I'm sorry. So the next reply was, not the antagonist. If I knew you in real life, I'd bet you $1,000 he's a guy who, if he made it, would trade you in for a younger, better looking model despite how much you change to support him. if you ever seen SNL's Meet Your Second Wife, check it out on YouTube. I imagine, yeah, this is the whole thing where it's just like he's looking for this glamorous life. He watched episodes of Entourage or I don't know, other things like that, where he's just like, hey, this is gonna be my lifestyle. I'm gonna do that. So everything's gotta change. The whole like wish it, want to do it from Family Guy thing, where he just thinks like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. I work so hard. I'm such a good actor. I was so good in the play in high school. Like all this. He's delusional. He doesn't know what he wants, and he's gonna put it on her. So I mean, run far, run fast. So the next reply from controversial section was, you're the antagonist for letting this guy get under your skin. Throw his sorry butt away, far away. They got downvotes, but it is true. Like sometimes people don't respond to, coddled feedback like, hey, maybe he's not a good guy for you, or you're perfect the way you are. Sometimes you need someone to get in your face and say, hey, stop it, that guy's crap, you're way better than this, no, F you, stop looking at him, you just move away. So maybe this was a tough love that she needed, probably not, but I mean, let's see what the next reply was. You're the antagonist to yourself for allowing someone to treat you this bad and think it's okay, sad, okay, and more just not the antagonist, red flags, run. So I mean, it would seem like most of the people had the best intentions. So over in Decoy Court, we agree with everybody, and I think that my knee-jerk reaction was pretty spot on, not seeing the edits, not seeing the top and controversial comments where she is just probably low self-esteem, doesn't know how to get out of the situation, and she deserves better. So hopefully all that positive reaffirmation of telling her, get away from the person, you need to break up, and she says she's not, admittedly, she says she's not good at breaking up with people. Hopefully this is going to be, the first step towards her breaking off with somebody. And then also, like, the idea is she'll break up with this person, then find somebody in the near future, hopefully, that actually appreciates her, and it'll be like a whole new day. Like, wow, oh my God, you don't need me to go on a special diet. You don't need me to, be a certain weight. So when he goes to LA to be successful, and I didn't even realize over here, she's 28 and he's 38. Like, in what world? I mean, I do understand some people are successful later in life, but I really wonder if he thinks he's going to be like a producer, a musician, or maybe an actor. I feel like with the new YouTube generation, like, when did Justin Bieber get discovered? I think he's a little bit late in the game for that. So I'm going to go ahead and say that, OP, you are not the antagonist for not wanting to try to jump through the hoops for this idiot over here. And definitely the boyfriend or whatever man guy, he's the antagonist. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I mean, overall, I feel like with DecoyNoise, as we're evolving to like the 3 topics and everything, and people are seeming to like it, I'm starting to kind of get a little bit of growth right now. And, I enjoy engaging with you guys down there at all. I may end up trying to like roll back a little bit. So, I mean, let me know how you guys feel about that. Maybe 2 topics a day, 5 days a week instead of 3 topics a day, 7 days a week, because I'm going to be launching that second channel. Somebody also asked me if I should do r/politics, and I was a little bit against it, but I think that I should do a second channel where we just kind of have a middle of the road, just kind of an easy discussion, just like in Decoy Court, about whatever real life events are going on there. So I mean, make sure you guys are subscribed down below with the notification ons, but also tell me how you would feel about that second channel, and if it should be, the second try at Decoy Voice where we're doing real life stuff. Like, let me know how you feel about that. But as always, if you made it this far in the video, I want to say I appreciate you hanging out with me while I'm in lockdown. You're in lockdown. I'm your invisible roommate. You see all the likes and the hearts. Make sure you're liking it. Make sure you're sharing it with someone that might like this type of content. But if nothing else, you can always just put this on autoplay and watch the next episode of DecoyNoise coming up next.